Okay, now we're talking. Today we're going to talk about this little man. We cast him out of bronze using a lost wax method. What that means is you start with a wax sculpture, essentially, that you carve with wax tools like this. When you do lost wax casting, you lose the wax. You make the wax mold. You make the wax, and then you put it in plaster, and then you put that plaster in an oven, and you drain out all the wax. So it's sort of like a one-off. The most important thing, coffee.
Yes.
Yep, that's me winking. You're gonna hear a whole bunch of noise during this video. That is the forge in the background, heating our metal to 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit. This is a brand new tank, and it's only reading half full. That's absurd. Look at that.
And if it doesn't fit, make it fit.
Smash it in there!
It's just smashing YouTube video.
So what I'm doing here is I'm just respooling the copper so it will fit into the crucible inside the forge. There's nothing special about what I'm doing. I'm just making it smaller. And then, after I spooled all that stuff up, we need to cut it into shapes that we can fit in there. So I'm just cutting it apart into manageable sized pieces. We ended up using a combination of copper, silicon, bronze, and aluminum, which basically means we just made our own version of bronze with all of this found material.
All right, method to the madness.
We did it. We have smallified the copper.
And now we're going to drop it in.
Smallify a little bit more. How hot this is until you're here. It is hot. I'm already sweating.
Will you talk about the beats?
Yeah, so we got Herlicoy casting grain, which is basically just silicon bronze that's made into little tiny balls. Supposedly it makes it easy to melt. We're gonna pour it in, find out, in a sweet fireman's jacket. So I decided to wear the fireman's jacket for this one because I knew I needed to get really close to the crucible to pour this stuff in safely. I mean, you'll actually see my glove starts smoking there. It got really hot.
Very tips. Just the very tips.
Okay, like maybe just bend like an inch. Part of this process required us to actually make a few of our own tools. So Sia had already made these sort of extendo wrench gadget things, but we knew we needed to maneuver a couple of the casting molds while they were hot. So what we're doing here is we're just bending over the ends so they fit a little bit cleaner around the curved molds so we can move them easy.
This one is boric acid. It'll reduce the oxygen, so it's a flux and it'll make it run more smoothly.
It looks like our cake is almost done.
Our cake is almost done. Do you want me to get it on film?
All the cameras are rolling right now.
Oh,
That
thanks
one,
to my nose.
that camera's rolling, that camera's rolling. That one's just focused down there, so it's just getting our feet. This one's focused everywhere.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so wait, one more thing. Oh yeah. It's really looking neat. All right.
So here is my plaster mold after the wax has been drained out and it's been sitting in the oven as high as we could make it, which was 450 degrees. So currently the inside of that is at 450 degrees, which we found out is not hot enough.
And oops. Open the door. Locked. There. Good.
This is another tool that Sia here built specifically to handle this crucible, because that thing is at 2,000 degrees. It's not something you can just pick up. As all of the bronze melts inside of there, impurities float to the top. And so what she's doing here is she's just scraping that stuff off so we can get a really clean pour of bronze. It's juicy, looks like radioactive Kool-Aid maybe?
Hold on, let's make sure it's grabbed.
Good on both sides.
On both sides. And
so the reason why it's doing this is as the 2,000 degree bronze is poured into the plaster mold, it was cracking the inside of the mold, which was releasing a whole bunch of gas, causing it to sort of like boil essentially, which made it really, really hard to pour. We melted a lot of bronze, more than what we needed for our 2 plaster molds, and so we set out a couple of other pieces to do some tests on.
let's just put it down.
Get a close up, close up. So now we wait for that to cool for like ever.
Mm-hmm.
For literally ever. How long does it take that to cool down?
2 to 3 hours if it's that large. We can also dump them in water, which is a really, really good way to break apart the mold.
And there's a river right over there.
Yeah.
You won't let us put it in the river.
And check out the gas. Come do a.
Oh, yeah.
So that was what?
Wow.
20 minutes?
Yeah, but it only started at like half full.
It's ridiculous.
Well, the great thing about the sculpture that I'm making is that although it would be really awesome to have a full featured, perfectly smooth and nice polished human, which maybe we got, but I kind of doubt it, it's still going to look really, really great and still make a statement.
Oh, yeah.
Even when it's not a complete, even if it's a little bit janky looking. So this is sort of like a success no matter what, which is a great first bronze pour.
Yeah.
We learned a lot, so now we can do it better next time. Man, this dude's abs are really holding them together here.
Now he totally looks like he's doing the bicycle.
Oh, dude.
You know.
Yeah, he's exercising real hard. So this is what the bronze looks like right out of the mold, and you can see it's got a whole bunch of surface imperfections and pieces of those sprues still attached to it. So the process that happens after this is a whole bunch of cleanup. So you take a grinder and you grind up all of those extra pieces and you cut it off, and then you take sandpaper to it. If all of the surface imperfections didn't exist on this, you could then polish it. But because it's got these surface imperfections, I'm leaving it a little rough because I think that is what's gonna make it look best in the sculpture that I'm making. We did it! We showed you an entire process of carving, making a mold, pouring into that mold. There's a lot of stuff we left out. This is the first video that I've done like this in a long time. Hopefully, I'm gonna be making more of these. So stick around, maybe subscribe. I'm gonna try to make them fun, I'm gonna try to make them interesting, and I'm gonna try to make them as varied as I possibly can, because I love learning new stuff. What should be my sign-off? What's my sign-off? I need like a catchphrase. What's my catchphrase? Maybe it's just like a wink. Maybe I just wink. Maybe I'm the YouTube wink guy. Okay, bye.